Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of our Python tutorial series. And in this episode, we are treating how to do a time averaging or sort of a time grouping first on the time and then also averaging it using pandas. Now, this has been treated using XRA for net CDF datasets, and we saw how simple that is. Now, I want to look at that for a tabular dataset in pandas. So first we import our pandas as PD, and if we need to include any other packages, we'll make use of that from here. And so we are now going to read our data, which is from this end, which is the maximum temp XLS. This just containing one sheet, so then I decide to read it as such. So df underscore data, because the data is going to be stored as a data frame, it has multiple columns. Bear in mind, I already explained that in pandas, a single column data is treated as a series and then multiple column as a data frame. So we have df underscore data indicating a data frame, and then we call our PD and read Excel. And then we pass in our file name, which is maximum temp.xls. And this is enough to read the data since it's just one sheet. Now, if we had different sheets, then it means you have to specify what sheet you're reading from. Okay, so we have df underscore data read out. Now we can check what it contains. So df underscore data dot head, and we pass in, say, the first 5 rows. And there's what the data contains, the time, and then data from different locations. So now what we want to do next is to set the time as the index. So we can have df underscore data underscore data dot set index, and then we pass in here the time. So if we rerun the head, now there's what we see. So the time component has been set as the index for each row. And so with this, it's quite easy now to perform your grouping since the data is treated already as a time series from here. So what we'll be doing next is, in order to create a group, and there are two ways to do that. One is to use the grouper class or the grouper method, and then the other is to use the resample. So if I call, for instance, let's name this as df data grouped. Right. First, we are going to use the grouper class or the grouper method. So we call the df underscore data dot group by. So we are applying a group by function. And in here, we call the pandas grouper class or the grouper method, and we pass within it what sort of grouping. So let's say I want to change this from individual daily data to, say, a yearly. I want to find the yearly mean. So then I pass in here the frequency equals to, say, 1 year. I can just put y there, and that's enough. And once I've done this, this is only creating groups. So every year is being treated as a group. Now what I want to do is to also aggregate them, or sort of find the mean or the sum, whatever it is, whatever parameter it is, over the year. So then I apply also the main function on this, and that's enough to group the data. So now if we check the df data grouped and find the first, say, 5 lines of it, now you notice from here that we have each year, and this is given as the end of the year. So the mean for the entire for that location within the entire year. So this is more like the annual temperature mean. Yeah. Now this is with the group by class or the group by method. The second alternative is to use the resample. So let's call df data resampled. Okay, and then we call again on our df data, and we try the resample method. And with this, we just pass in the frequency. So let's say my frequency is going to be 1 year again. Okay. And after resampling it, I want to find the mean. So this will give us the annual mean temperature. So I just run that. And I have my df data resampled. Exactly. So we have pretty much the same thing. So maybe let me just show the first few lines here, head 5. Okay, and that is it. Now, the other thing to note is, let's say if I want to create particular individual daily group and say every 5 day I need the average, every 5 day I need average, then you can equally just make use of the resample, and that's quite easy. So we can pass in here the frequency of say 5 days. So it means for every 5 days you are going to get the mean information. So now if you rerun the head, notice from here, there's for the first 5 days, the average, and then the next 5 days, starting from set, the average, the next five from 11th. And so you can use the resample method or the goodbye class or method for all these things. And so time averaging in Pandas is quite easy as long as you set your daytime as your index, and that's very much easy. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn the post notification on. And also don't forget to share within your networks. If you have a question, do also leave it in the comments section, and then the team would address it. Thanks for passing through, and then we hope that your journey of Python will be a fruitful one. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.